Welcome back to Jake and Jenna English, the podcast where you learn real English through real conversations. I'm Jenna, and this is episode 2. Last time, Jake and I talked about 2 different ways of living, the countryside and the city. A lot of you shared your answers in the comments, and we loved reading them. Today, we have a new topic, something that affects every single person in the world: food. More specifically, do you cook at home or do you eat out at restaurants? I love cooking at home, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Then, Jake is going to share his side of the story. Let's get into it. So first, what does it mean to cook at home? Cooking at home means you buy your own ingredients, prepare the food yourself, and eat it in your own kitchen or dining room. It sounds simple, but for a lot of people, cooking feels like hard work. It takes time, it takes energy, and after a long day, the last thing you want to do is stand in the kitchen for an hour. I understand that. I really do. But I still think cooking at home is one of the best habits you can have. Here is why. Let's start with money. Eating out is expensive. A meal at a restaurant can cost $10, $20, sometimes $30 or more for just one person. If you eat out every day, that adds up very quickly. By the end of the month, you could spend hundreds of dollars just on food. But when you cook at home, you control the cost. You buy ingredients at the supermarket, and one bag of groceries can make 3 or 4 meals. For people who are trying to save money, and that is most of us, cooking at home makes a huge difference. Now let's talk about health. When you eat at a restaurant, you don't always know what is in your food. The chef might use a lot of butter, salt, oil, or sugar to make it taste good. But when you cook at home, you know exactly what goes into your meal. You can choose fresh vegetables. You can use less salt. You can control the portions. A lot of people who start cooking at home say they feel better. They have more energy. They sleep better. Their body feels cleaner. Food is fuel, and when you control your fuel, you feel the difference. What about the experience of cooking itself? I think cooking is actually enjoyable once you get used to it. There's something satisfying about making a meal from scratch. You start with raw ingredients, you chop, mix, heat, and season, and then you have something delicious in front of you that you made yourself. That feeling is really rewarding. Cooking can also be a way to relax. Putting on some music, working slowly in the kitchen, focusing on one thing, for many people, it is a form of stress relief. And when you cook for other people, friends, family, a partner, it becomes an act of love. Cooking at home is also great for learning. Every time you cook a new dish, you learn something: a new technique, a new ingredient, a new flavor combination. Over time, you build skills, and those skills stay with you forever. You never have to depend on a restaurant. You never have to wonder what to eat. You open the fridge, look at what you have, and you make something. That kind of independence is really valuable. Now, is home cooking always perfect? No, let's be honest. Sometimes you follow a recipe and it goes wrong. The food burns. The pasta is too soft. The sauce is too salty. And yes, sometimes you're just too tired to cook. You've had a long day and you want someone else to do it for you. That is completely normal. Cooking at home does not mean you never eat out. It just means that home is your first choice, your default. Let's look at some vocabulary before I pass over to Jake. Ingredients: the individual foods you use to make a meal. For example, eggs, flour, and butter are ingredients in a cake. Groceries: the food and household items you buy at a supermarket. From scratch: making something using basic ingredients, not a ready-made product. Portions: the amount of food on your plate. A big portion means a lot of food. Rewarding: when something gives you a feeling of satisfaction and pride. So, cooking at home, more money in your pocket, better food for your body, new skills, and a real sense of satisfaction. I think that's a pretty strong case. But now, Jake is going to argue the other side, and I have to warn you, he makes some very good points. Over to you, Jake.
Thank you, Jenna. Okay, home cooking does sound great. I'll admit that. But now, let me tell you about eating out, because I think there is a lot more to it than most people realize. So, what does eating out mean? Eating out means going to a restaurant, a cafe, a food market, or any place outside your home to eat a meal that someone else has prepared for you. And I want to say something right away. Eating out is not just about the food. It is about the experience, the atmosphere, the people, the memories. Let me explain. Let's start with time. In today's world, time is one of the most valuable things we have. Think about what cooking at home actually involves. You plan the meal, you go to the supermarket, you buy the ingredients, you come home, unpack, prepare, cook, eat, and then you clean up. That is easily 1 to 2 hours of your day every single day. When you eat out, someone else does all of that for you. You sit down, you order, and your food arrives. In 30 minutes, you're done. For busy people, and most of us are busy, that saved time is incredibly valuable. Now let's talk about variety. When you cook at home, you tend to make the same things. You have your favorite recipes. You stick to what you know. But restaurants open up a whole world of food. In one city, you can eat Italian pasta on Monday, Japanese sushi on Tuesday, Indian curry on Wednesday, and Mexican tacos on Thursday. That variety is exciting. It keeps food interesting, and it exposes you to cultures and flavors that you might never discover if you only cooked at home. Trying new food is one of life's great pleasures, and restaurants make that easy. What about the social side? Think about the last time you had a really memorable meal. Was it alone in your kitchen? Probably not. It was probably at a restaurant, with friends, family, or someone special. Restaurants are social spaces. They are designed for connection. The lighting, the music, the atmosphere, all of it creates a feeling that is very hard to recreate at home. Business meetings happen over lunch. First dates happen over dinner. Celebrations happen at restaurants. Eating out is not just eating. It is an event. It is a shared experience. And shared experiences are what we remember. Let's also talk about quality. A good restaurant chef has years of training and experience. They know techniques that most home cooks will never learn. They have access to high-quality ingredients. They know how to balance flavors perfectly. The result? Food that is simply better than what most of us can make at home. When you go to a great restaurant, you aren't just paying for food. You're paying for expertise. You're paying for an experience that someone has spent years learning how to create. That has real value. What about trying something new? Eating out pushes you out of your comfort zone. You see something on the menu that you've never tried before. Maybe you order it. Maybe it becomes your new favorite food. That kind of discovery only happens when you go out. At home, you control everything, which is nice, but it also means you rarely surprise yourself. Restaurants keep things interesting. They keep food exciting, and they remind you that there is always something new to try. Now, is eating out perfect? No, of course not. It can be expensive. If you eat out every night, the cost adds up fast. You don't always know what's in your food, and portion sizes at restaurants are sometimes too big. And yes, there is something warm and personal about a home-cooked meal. I won't argue with that. But eating out, done well, does not have to be a guilty pleasure. It can be a smart, enjoyable, and social choice. Let's look at the vocabulary from this section. Atmosphere, the feeling or mood of a place. A restaurant can have a warm, romantic, or lively atmosphere. Variety. Many different types of something. A restaurant menu with lots of choices has good variety. Expertise. A high level of skill and knowledge, usually from years of experience. Comfort zone. The area of things you are already familiar and comfortable with. Memorable. Something you remember for a long time because it was special. So, cooking at home or eating out? Jenna made a great case for home cooking. It saves money, it's healthier, and it teaches you real skills. But eating out saves time, offers variety, brings people together, and gives you experiences you simply cannot create in your own kitchen. Here's your question for this episode, and please answer in English in the comments. Do you prefer cooking at home or eating out? And what is your favorite meal, whether you make it yourself or order it at a restaurant? We'd love to know. I'm Jake, she's Jenna, and we're Jake and Jenna English. See you in the next episode.